Hi, it's Will here from Rekall Consulting, bringing you the third episode in our Rekall Recruitment Hacks. Again, this is the series geared at founders, business leaders in startups and scale-ups who are taking a lot more recruitment duties on at the moment due to budgets or VC investment slowing ever so slightly. So this is aimed at giving you some time back in being a better recruiter, the 1 or 2 hours you might spend a day or a week supercharging that time in your recruitment. Again, we are experts of headhunting, hard to find candidates for startups and scale-ups. And these are the hacks that we use day by day that you can put into practice. And this is the third in our videos. So if you haven't seen 1 and 2, go back to YouTube, go back to the channel and subscribe first of all, hit the notification bell so you are alerted as the new hacks are released. This is around eliminating inconsistencies in your recruitment process. As headhunters, we never start a job search without fully understanding what we're looking for. You know, we have to brief a team, we have to talk to colleagues internally to be sure that everybody is singing from the same hymn sheet with regards to the match, the profile, the person that we're seeking for our prospective client. And it should be no different in your organization. You know, imagine, you're about to run a race and you don't know really what race it is that you're going to run. You just know that it's a race. I've seen a lot of people make some mistakes here with their hiring process by having inconsistencies. Like, to use another analogy, you're running a relay race. You've got the baton. You start the race. You pass it off to somebody else who's turned up in their swimming gear because they're not consistent in your process of what good recruitment looks like to you. So you've got to bring them into the fold. You've got to help them and educate them and everybody involved with what good looks like. So how do you do that? If you've got multiple stakeholders in your recruitment process, it's like Chinese whispers. You know, we've all kind of played that game when we were kids or played it with our kids. And the message changes as each person is involved. We can eliminate that in recruitment. We have to eliminate that in recruitment because that's how you get frustrated with multiple interviews that are failing. You know, you've got candidates who look good. You know, they get into the first stage, they pass and everybody gets excited and then they fail at the next interview. And there's massive disparity between, the feedback, but it's the same person. So the disparity hasn't come from that individual. It's come from the lack of consistency between interviewer A and interviewer B. That's what you need to tidy up. You need to make sure that interviewer A, interviewer B, C, D, however many stakeholders you've got in that process, they are singing from the same hymn sheet. How you can do that is, first of all, in the first two videos that we made here, the first was about really honing in on your candidate persona, really understanding what the person looks like that you're trying to hire. The second video was around creating a job description that is very bespoke to the role that you're trying to fill in your organization, as opposed to a generic download from a website. So what we're doing here is really creating a consistent process in our internal recruitment. And these job descriptions, they should have already had multiple involvements from different stakeholders in the business who are, working with or working for or this hire is reporting to. They all have to be in agreement that this is the right job description. The duties are laid out. The values of this individual are clear. What we're trying to get to as good in making this hire looks like. Everybody needs to be in agreement. So you need to have a panel discussion. You need to get around a boardroom table and get the whiteboard out, and start to think, right, okay, this is what we're looking for now. And then you can create a selection criteria. Some call it a scorecard. Some call it, an interview matrix, whatever you want to call it. This is something now that you can create a consistent vetting process around hard and soft skills, the values, the behaviors, the experiences that this candidate needs to demonstrate. But you all need to agree what that is and how to assess that. This is really important so that you don't have the huge disparity between interviewer A and interviewer B, which is very frustrating when you're trying to run a recruitment process. And this can come from using structured interviews. There are a lot of tools online where you can actually download an already predefined set of questions, which are specific to a value or a skill or a behavior. So this is where it's really important now that you understand the core values that you're looking for, that your team demonstrate. And again, this comes back to culture in our previous video. What's the culture you're trying to foster in your organization, and what behaviors underpin that culture? That's what we're looking for. And then everybody across the interviewing panel needs to have this very same process. They might be different questions. Interview A, B, and C might have different questions, but ultimately it's probing at the same principle, the same skill, the same value, the same behavior. And not to catch people out. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to ensure that the pattern that is emerging in each of these interview stages, the message is consistent from the candidate from A, B, C, D, right through to hire. And that is from a structured interview process where everybody knows what they're looking for and how to get that information, how to digest that information, and feed that back into the panel. If you're not clear on how to do that, it might be worth having some interview training. There are companies out there who can come and help you upskill as interviewers. You might be great at building software. You might be great at selling software. You might be great at designing software or marketing software, whatever. But you might actually not be very good at interviewing and creating a consistent interview model. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that at all. You're not a recruiter. You're a business leader. So it might be worth, just having a half a day or a few hours of training on how to interview, how to eliminate bias, how to really hone in on bringing the skills and the values and the beliefs and the behaviors to life that you're looking for. That's going to accelerate your business in its growth. You can also rely now on technology. There's a lot of AI tech. There's a lot of technology out there, which is actually quite interactive, which can actually make your interview process more engaging. There's a fantastic tool called Owiwi, very strange name, Owiwi, which are actually a Greek company who won the European Red Herring Award. And they do a PI test. They do like a personality profile, but it's gamification based, and it's really cool. It's really engaging. A lot of people, I'm not doing a PI test, but it's a game, so it's actually pretty cool. It doesn't take too long, and you can get a very accurate score on these people's, their values. Something like that could be a good idea to implement into your process if you're not quite sure, or you don't have the time and resources to bring everybody together to train them on how to interview better for such things. The scoring system, you're going to need to create that yourself. You're going to need to take this training, this interview training. You're going to need to bring everybody together. It's about communication. This communication is really the key to a good recruitment process. And everybody around the table is going to need to agree on this scoring system, this scoring matrix, this scorecard, whatever you want to call it, that are based on hard skills, soft skills, values, the things that are the most important to you based on the last two videos that we've conducted here. You should now have a clear job description and an idea of what the person is that you're looking for. But that just gets you to the starting blocks of the race. Again, you've then got to run the race. You've got to jump the hurdles, and there's a lot of hurdles in the recruitment process. So it's very important that the scoring system is consistent and everybody is singing again from that same hymn sheet. Consistency, communication. You've got to gather the feedback, more importantly. The feedback that you're getting from the hiring managers around their interactions with candidates. You can always adapt, but don't let people go rogue and adapt themselves. They've got to communicate. You need to have an end of week recruitment discussion. It's a Zoom call if your colleagues are around the world, if you're not in the office together, around, okay, what's working well? What questions are getting the right responses? What questions are turning candidates off? Get the candidate feedback as well. Be sure that you're getting as much feedback from as many data sources as you possibly can to better enhance your chances of making a good hire. We all know the cost of a bad hire, the time, the effort, the money that you're putting into a hire once they're onboarded is insurmountable for a startup. And all you need to do is make some little tweaks here. Maybe you've got to put an hour or two of investment into learning something new. But if you equate that to the cost of a bad hire, it's not comparable. It's minuscule. Again, these meetings need to happen regularly. You need to understand what's going on in your interview process with multiple stakeholders. These are what seem like basic hacks. These are very important hacks. There's no point doing all the legwork of the persona build, the job description build, to then just hit and hope. Let's hope the right candidate walks through our door and he passes every single stage of this interview, albeit very inconsistently. You're going to burn a lot of candidates. You're going to go and kiss a lot of frogs if you don't have consistency in this interview process. People have different ideas. That's what makes a company great. Different ideas, different cultures, different beliefs, different skills and experiences. Bringing them all together is what harnesses innovation. But in a recruitment process, we have to create a consistent model that they all can adhere to and vet people appropriately for. You can make it as bespoke, you can make it as interactive, you can make it as arbitrary as you like, but ultimately you need to stick around consistency. These are the basic hacks that you can use to do that. Again, if you need any help from Rekall, type Rekall in the comments and I'll be in touch with you to give you anything that you need. Whether you just need some advice on how to do this on any of the videos previous, feel free to reach out to me. And my LinkedIn profile is also in the comments. So I hope you're enjoying these hack videos. They're short and sharp. They're geared at making you a better recruiter, to give you time back to put into your organization, into your startup. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you very much.